Was Mike in here before?
He was.
No wonder there's so many people.
Good job. Please join me in welcoming world number 3, Lydia Co. Lydia, just talk a little bit about what it feels like to come back to a USGA event every year.
Yeah, it's always exciting. My first appearance at a USGA event was at the USM, then the US Juniors, and it's something that I'm really proud of, seeing the US Women's Am trophy on my locker and just being a USGA champion and the only, I guess for now, the event that I could potentially win is the US Women's Open, which would be a really cool thing to kind of add to that USGA resume. But it's great seeing familiar faces, and we get exposed to new golf courses, so it's, I think, a different type of challenge for us, and I'm really excited for this week.
Yeah, you just mentioned it, a new golf course for you all. Talk a little bit about the tests that you've seen so far this week.
Yeah, in all honesty, I watched some YouTube golf before coming here and seeing how they played and just kind of get an idea of what the golf course is like. And it's obviously it plays very differently compared to when the men's played here in 2017. So it's you don't really know until you get here, but the course is difficult. It's fun. I think you need a lot of creativity, and as for any, I think US Women's Open, the course tends to change in regards to firmness and the green speed from Monday to Sunday. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how the course changes over the next couple of days. But yeah, it's a great golf course. I think it's fun. I don't think it's like for one type of player, which is something that I tend to really prefer because it kind of brings the whole field into it, and hopefully I can hit some good shots and get a few good lucky bounces and kind of go from there.
We're going to open it up to questions. Start back left with Sean.
Whose YouTube channel did you watch?
I watched the Bryan brothers, and I think Wesley Bryan was trying to get his revenge from 2017, and I think it's the series where they do it with Grant Horvat, and it's like going to major championship courses. I think they played at the Anwa course quite recently with Alexa Pano. So I got into YouTube golf because of my husband, and I won't be shy to say I watch it on my own now. And it's probably not the preparation that many of the other players did, but it was just a good way for me to kind of see the golf course.
You said a few times this year that you are enjoying life on tour, maybe more than you have ever before. Why do you think that is?
I think, just getting in the Hall of Fame and, winning the gold at the Olympics, I think there was like an internal handcuff that I had kind of put on myself, whether it was pressure or expectations. And I think with that all kind of being done, I think I was just able to play with a lot more freedom. And I think there was a clear case, at St. Andrews where I was just enjoying being there, enjoying the town, and I think I slowly just kind of crept up the leaderboard, and I feel like that's what I've been doing pretty well, since then. And it's nice because it's a bit more eye-opening, and I'm going to some of these areas that I've been to before, and I'm kind of venturing out and maybe going to a different restaurant and maybe not being as like golf course hotel, and I think that's just how it should be, and in ways I regret I didn't do that earlier, but maybe because I was a bit more focused, it gave me more opportunity. So it's hard to say like what's the right way to do it, but I think those things kind of have made me feel a little bit more relaxed on the golf course. And I was talking to my mental coach, and I was saying that I noticed that like even if I'm not playing well, I'm not thinking about okay, what score am I going to shoot, but more okay, what are the things that I can do on the golf course even to test out and see if that works and if that's going to help me. So it's been more of like an experiment in ways, and I think that's helped me to kind of turn around or not have as long phases where I'm not hitting the ball well or putting well. So it's a different type of mindset, but as much as I'm playing, I still want to play well and have the chance to get Culver's with you this week. But yeah, it's fun, and I think because of all of those little ups and downs, in my career, I think it has given me the opportunity to be in this kind of mindset now. And I think if anything was a little different, then I wouldn't be like where I'm right now. So it's hard. It's the whole process that kind of brings me to where I am today.
We're going to stay back left. Brody?
As somebody who broke out at such a young age yourself, I'm curious, do you ever speak with, some of those kind of teenage golfers now coming up? And if so, kind of, what is your main advice about going through that pressure?
Yeah, I played Mizuho, and when you make it through the weekend, you get the opportunity to play with a few of the AJGA girls, and I mean, it's honestly so impressive. I played with one of the players, and I was like, wow, you should be playing in the same tees as me. Like I think she shot a better score than me. It's impressive. Like in ways, I think age is just a number. But my caddy and I were joking that when you're that young, you're almost fearless. So you go for every pin. You're a lot more aggressive. But over time, whether it's the good and bad, it shapes you a little bit differently. And that was also a similar conversation I had with Yanni on Sunday, and we're a lot smarter now, but at the same time it may look a little bit more tentative, but it's just, I think that experience kind of reflects like what type of player you become, and I think that experience in the long run is much more beneficial than probably the 15-year-old self that I was playing in Canada.
On the right, Rob?
Your record shows that your first U.S. Women's Open came up the road at Black Wolf Run. I was curious what you remember about that week, that year, and what do you wish you would have known then that you know now about a major championship?
I was very nervous. I remember I couldn't even line up my ball on the first green. So I tried a couple times and I gave up because I was like, this is not working. So that's when I think I really realized that this meant a lot to me, and the U.S. Women's Open is different to any other event I had actually played in previously. So, yeah, it's I think on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're getting ready, you're more focused about your course management and the now. But then when the tournament day comes, I think the adrenaline and all that kind of kicks in, and I just remember being so nervous, and that golf course was really difficult, and I don't know if my knowledge now will help me from like when I was playing back then, but I just realized that it was definitely a different test at a U.S. Women's Open.
On the left, Beth Ann, and then Jill.
Hi. Players have often described this as the one that they want the most. Do you feel that way now, and do you feel like pressure has held you back at this championship at any point?
I think this would be the one that I'd say, I wish I was a U.S. Women's Open champion. I think it's a very small, it may seem like a large pool of people that are the past champions, but it's actually quite small, and I would obviously love to be part of that U.S. Women's Open champion club. But yeah, I don't know, I think the hardest thing about a U.S. Women's Open is that we don't really go back to the same golf course, and it takes a very long time to return to the same course. So unless I'm playing for, I don't know how many years, maybe the Pebble one would be the only one that I'd have the chance to maybe play again. It's hard because it's like a new course every year, and the schedule only gets busier, so to come out and do advanced practice rounds is difficult. But yeah, it's there's a lot of pressure, but I don't know what kind of mindset I'm going to have going into this week, but I'm really excited. I think you need to have a really good short game and kind of an open mind to how you're going to play around this golf course, and for the most part, I feel pretty comfortable, and I know that, I said to myself on Monday, I was like, this course is hard, but if it's hard for me, I feel like it's going to be hard for everyone. It's not like it's hard for a certain type of player, so I think in that way, I think it just gives me the freedom to just be out there, concentrate on how I want to go about things, and hopefully if I do a good job of that, that will give me some good opportunities. But I think this is also the type of golf course you need to hit a lot of quality golf shots and also get a little bit of fair, good bounces in luck as well. And I think when you win, you end up, kind of going through what happened the the past 4 days, and all of those kind of come into mind.
And what was your impression of Yanni playing her game right now, playing a practice round with her?
She's playing so good. I honestly didn't know that this one was the one that she was missing out of the, I guess, the four since she started playing. And I was like, Yanni, this is the year. Because, I mean, I played, I was talking to Julie Inkster, last year, and we were talking, and she's like, so what's your goal now? And I said, I would love to win the U.S. Women's Open. And she said, well, I won my first one at 39. I was like, Julie, that's 12 years from now. I was like, great, but a lot of time. But yeah, so I told Yanni then, I said, hey, 30s might be the new thing. And she's like, you think so? And she was honestly hitting it really good. And she's obviously worked so hard. And I believe that, we will all have ups and downs, but what she did, like, during that extremely scary period of her career, like, no one can take away that from her, and I think that's just in her golfing DNA. So it's hard, like, I've had, really difficult times and, been baffled and unsure, like, if it's ever going to come back. But now, like, coming to think of it, I think it's in there, but it sometimes takes a long time to kind of be able to bring it back up and have the right people to help you through that journey. But it seems like she has, a great team around her, and she was playing great, and I think she has a local caddy this week, so she's obviously going to get a lot of good local knowledge. And she's such a sweet player that it's just really hard to not root for somebody like her. And as much as I want to win, I'm like, if I see Yanni win too, I'll be like super pumped.
We're going to go on the center right to Jim.
To follow up the earlier question, just the freedom and how much fun you're having, is some of that the openness of the way you've spoken about your career and where it's going or when it might end, and has that contributed at all to that maybe mental freedom at all, to just sort of let it come as it is?
I think we are, like, this industry, I think we're around a lot of people a lot of the times, and in ways I think it's weird, it's ironic, because I've felt lonelier even though I'm around a lot of people. And in ways I think just being honest with myself has been the best way to kind of go about things. And I think when I was younger, I was a little bit more closed off even to myself on, like, how I was feeling, like, and even how I was assessing my game. And I think when I honestly gave a little less crap, it just I think it just let me be me, because I can never be the past me, and I don't know what the future me is going to be like, nor can I be like any of the other 150 or so players out here. So it's just, I think that being, like, more free is not in the sense of like other people, but I think maybe the internal freedom has helped me, like, a little bit. But there's still obviously a lot of things I want to work on, as a golfer, as a person, as a daughter, like, whatever. But it's just, I think time kind of makes me realize a lot of these things naturally, and sometimes you really can't force it. So I think if I had this mindset 10 years ago, it honestly wouldn't have made sense. But it's just all those periods of time just kind of made me the person I am today, and I'm proud of that, and I'm excited for what's ahead, and I think it's because I'm just so also grateful for what has happened, the lows and the highs.
Just a couple more, both on the left, starting with Amy.
Lydia, after all you achieved last year, you set achieving the career Grand Slam as a new goal of yours. How much of that is a priority and something that's top of mind for you this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm probably going to have less chances at playing, these majors than how many I've played so far. But, that's the great thing about these Opens. People come out of retirement and play some. People, kids that are still in high school play. Lucy Lee played when she was 11. Like, that's the no boundary bit of the Open, and I think that's the cool thing about it. But yeah, I think if I don't get in the Hall of Fame, I won't retire. That's not kind of like how I connect it, but I think as long as I'm playing, I think it's always good to have a goal so that when I'm working on things, I'm always going forward and not trying to think, oh, I did this, so like who cares? So it's just more to just keep myself more motivated. But even hopefully not, but like even if I never win a U.S. Women's Open, I don't think I'm gonna wake up from my sleep and go, I never won. So it's just I'm obviously very proud of the things that have happened, and I would be over the moon if I, especially like this week, to come off with a trophy, but I don't think that's gonna like connect me more so to my identity later on.
How would you assess the setup, what you've seen so far this week, and have you been able to play from a few of the different tee boxes?
I played on a couple tee boxes. I think that's the thing. Another thing with the USGA championships, like you have to play more to kind of gauge what kind of tees and how much creativity the rules officials are gonna, I guess, do and set up the golf course. Because when you're on the LPGA, we know some of the tendencies of our rules officials. So we go, okay, someone is setting it up, so the pins are probably going to be a little bit more tucked than maybe some of the other rules official. So you kind of understand their habits, but I don't know if you can play enough to be able to gauge it yet on the like out here. But I think that's a great thing about this golf course, that I don't think a hole necessarily needs to be long on the scorecard to be difficult. There's some greens, especially on the back nine, you could have a pitching wedge 9-iron into the green, and it'd be a really good shot to be within 15-20 feet. So I honestly don't love when sometimes golf becomes all about, oh, you play on a 6,800 or 6,900 yard golf course. I think holes can be really tough even if it's short, and it's just about the pin positions and the course and the environment that kind of sets it up. But yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of a game time thing where I'm gonna realize, okay, today's gonna be a little bit more of a conservative course management, or it could be a bit more aggressive.
Last two, Jill and Sarah.
What are your impressions of this place, not just necessarily the course, but like where it's located, and then also like where are you staying in Wisconsin, and what's your commute like?
I actually have no idea where the town I'm staying, but I think it is the nicest town in the area. They have like strip malls and everything. I did not know that this was like Dairyland, and I only found out that because they said they have a cheese tasting here, and I love my cheese, and I heard it's cheddar cheese, so and I love my cheddar cheese. So yeah, it's there's a lot of things that I like in the area. It's obviously very quiet, and it's kind of hard to gauge if there's going to be a lot of people coming out to watch us this week or not. But hopefully, with this course having held the public links and the open, a lot of people that have come before will be able to come out and watch us play. But it's nice. We've had some really nice weather, and sometimes we bring like bad weather energy in. But I think for the most part it's going to be good. And it's nice to go to. I mean, the USA is so big, especially coming from a country like New Zealand. So it's pretty amazing to see like how different places are, depending on what state, what city you're in, and it's a new nice experience for me.
And then secondly, what are your thoughts of the new commissioner, and then once he starts in July, what are your expectations?
Yeah, I honestly don't know too much about Craig, but all I have heard about him are like nice things, and he's done so many great things within golf, and from Top Golf to PGA of America, etc. So yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, when there is a change that high up, the dynamic could be a little bit different, but I think he's the type of person that's been around long enough to kind of know what to do, and now I believe that the LPGA as a whole, we have a great team that has been around for a long time, and some new people that will be able to lead us in the right direction, and women's golf, women's sports is on a high, and I think we're just going to ride that, and I'm excited to just see our tour grow, and yeah, excited to get to know the commissioner better too.
Lydia, thanks for the time. Good luck this week.
Thank you.